no pyramids.
They had help, man. That was some divine intervention at its best right there, buddy.
There you go.
Everything's all lined up. Everything's straight, and it still stands right there. That's some divine intervention at its finest.
Hey, man, that's what Marcus Garvey said. I'm a star amongst the constellation.
Right. I want to say, too, just another, the same thing, though, man. Piggybacking on what Bretton said, too, man. Now, when you go to dealing with, I mean, these are questions that people have to ask themselves, though. Like, during the time of slavery, it ain't like they had universities for them slaves to go to. Right? So they're not even getting secular education. Right? So they're not even getting secular education. They're only being controlled through what they believe in. That's it. They're not letting them go to universities. It ain't no Christians during the time of slavery. They not no Yale, no Harvard. So all of those right here that feel like they reached status because they got a PhD, like they really need to, they need to rethink some of these things, because if you have that and you still not able to make anything budge with it, what do you have? I mean, we got America said they got the best of schools. Like they send them out from the greatest to West Point, Harvard, Yale, with PhDs and degrees in economics, but yet you got a country that's $26 trillion in debt. You know what I mean? Like they don't go together, bro. You know what I mean? But people don't question it. And they get these degrees and they use them as status symbols. They use them as status symbols.
That's still being done. That's still being done right now.
So we have to deal with that group of our own people who feel like because they have obtained these degrees, yes, you can be like this right here too. You know what I mean? But being like what? Where is it that you comfortable at? Because on the global market, we ain't making a needle buzz right here, not in America, not the African American. You know what I mean?
1.5 or 1% ownership.
Education, it don't educate, it indoctrinates.
Right. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, because that's why you see the results you see right now in 2017. Exactly. It's working, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why we.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this one last thing, man. I'm gonna let Brother Dan let you take it all for it, bro. Bro, I was reading in the Bible, bro, and it said in Corinthians, bro, verse 13, bro. It says that had he not risen, everything that people do will be in vain. Everything that you believe will be in vain. Had he not risen, supposed to risen on the third day. That's the spring of Christianity, is the resurrection. But my question would be, how do you even get a gift when you got 85% of the world that believe that? How is still even a possibility of him not rising? And people don't even question that. They don't question it. They don't question that, bro. Mm-hmm. They don't realize we were taught this in slavery. And this is where we go wrong with. The education system, the school system, it only perpetuates the madness. But it's the belief that's got us warped. Because can't nobody hear us. Can't nobody hear us. Can't nobody hear our cries. And that's what they got us at, bro. Like I said, there wasn't no colleges when we were slaves. So what kind of education would they get? Because whatever they was getting, they kept them like they was.
Right? Miseducation of the Negro. There's a book.
Yes.
Right. That's why we've been suffering.
Like that, y'all. But, hey, you're talking about
it's all good, man. It's all good.
That's why we've been suffering, and that's why we've been suffering from our identity crisis. You know what I mean? Because, even when we look in the books, from when we was going to church on Sunday, everybody was white. I mean, let's keep it real. Even the angels, even some of these books, everybody's white. Okay, so we're seeing that in the spiritual realm, and then we go to school, and we seeing most people who created stuff was white. They never told us, it wasn't a balance. Even worse, like we didn't have no contribution. Only thing they showed us was slavery, and they showed us civil rights. But we was always, even think about that, bro. We was always in a struggle trying to be recognized as just a human. So that's not really contributing anything. So that's why I put this post at time. I say, inadvertently, the school system, not the teachers, they lost too. They just going to get a paycheck. They don't know what's going on. I'm gonna take that back. I don't want to say they lost, but they're just going to get a paycheck. But I'm talking about the top tier, the system itself. Hey man, who designed these books? Because they got people who design what they're going to put in these books. Even the dictionary, bro. Even the dictionary. You mentioned this before, Sheldon. Some of these dictionaries had a lot of negative connotation toward black because it was some racist people who was putting these words in the dictionary. Right? You was talking about black and white last time. So is it ironic? Is it a wonder that we are a people that's in the state that we are in? Because, like I said, why do we have to be taught at home about all this other history about black people, what they did? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Why did we didn't get a balanced view? We didn't hear too much about Dr. Charles Drew, who performed the first open heart surgery in America. Right. They don't talk about that. I didn't learn that in school, bro. I learned that on my own, independent. So what is it saying? Some of our most independent thinkers who was challenging the system, that's because they was learning other things outside of it. And that's what we're saying today. That's why I really and truly have a problem with some of the stuff that's being taught in the school public system. I don't like it, bro, because it's like we got to reteach our children.
So we got to work on the teaching program. We got to work on the teaching program, man. Get some books. Get a library, get a building. You know what I mean? We got to work on the teaching program, then, man. Young kids coming up. Remember that idea we talked about offline? So we definitely got to get there.
But see, this is why you got brothers like Dr. Umar Johnson. I mentioned him before. Now, I don't think the solution, on the other hand, is that to teach them no extreme. Don't do that neither. We want to teach them a healthy understanding of history. Well, I don't want to just teach you about black history neither, because we need to be taught about every ethnicity who contributed. But surely we need to be talking about the reason why we scream Black Lives Matter and we talk about black is beautiful, because we always had the conflict. And still to today, we are talking about light skin versus black. But think about this, bro. Yeah. It's been centuries. We are still talking about light skin winning, dark skin winning. It's crazy, bro, because they let you know that we haven't really solved the problem. And that's what I'm trying to talk about.
Because if I solve the problem, there would be nothing else to talk about, right? There'd be nothing else to whine about, nothing to complain about, nothing to be divided about if I really want to solve the problem. We talk about how smart these people are in the world and how people are so brilliant and educated and come up with some wonderful ideas. Don't you think something as simple as the ignorance of you judge a person just because of the color of their skin, something that can probably be taken care of if it could? No, so the same system that pretty much that perpetrated this and that won and that benefited from this, again, is the same system, that we talking about. So it just goes around in circles, man. So you have to just be diligent about your job, diligent about your path, and diligent about encouraging and educating the people that's around us again that don't know. Right. And so we got to be diligent about that, because like I said, now more than ever, man, we see it. So again, if you say we're awake and all this old kind of stuff, then God dang it, we got to be awake. Right. And so we have to be able to just teach it and give it and to those that want it. Again, those that don't, you'll catch up sooner or later, but at the same time, though, because you see the importance of knowing who you are. Again, if you don't know that, man, again, you can just be pulled around any kind of which way. And we see that, right? We see that all the time, man. And there's no accident. This was not just happened to be this way. Oh my gosh, I'm shocked and this is happening like this. No, this is happening exactly the way it's supposed to be happening. But we have to wake up and realize that we need each other as people, and we have to rise up. Like you say, that light skin, dark skin, get away from that. We people, we African American people, we got to get back, because they still see black. Whoever's opposed to you, they don't see light skin, dark skin. If they oppose to you because of the color of your skin, they just see that. So therefore, we have to educate ourselves enough about each other, man.
Right.
Again, it's not. It's sometimes have to tolerate the differences, right? But at the same time, though,
Right.
what's the common goal? What's the common goal? What's the common bond?
Right.
You know, at the end of the
Right.
day, man. So we have to have an agenda. We have to have an agenda that we can follow. We have to have a blueprint. We have to have leaders, not just one, leaders. We have to have people that's willing to teach, people that's willing to educate, people that's willing to impatient from 5 months all the way to 55 years old. It doesn't matter. We have to reach back, and as Vincent always say, want for our brothers and sisters what we want for ourselves. You know, we
Right.
have to do that, you know, and balance that education part. And again, entertainment, that's fine. That will be there. But we have been so miseducated, we can't afford to keep not knowing. We can't afford that, man. You know, you look up, we're gonna be what? Just gonna be just thrown by the wayside. Right, so we have to be able to bond together, though, man. That's why this Black Wealth movement, man, that I'm dealing with the company, man. It's so I love this, man. I love it, man.
Right.
You know, I tell you, I do, because it's educating people
Right.
and it's giving them those things that they didn't have. It's giving them that knowledge that school didn't teach about finances and education and credit and assets and management and stocks and investing and all that kind of stuff, man. Stuff that we need, stuff that we watch go by us on a 24/7 basis, and we just sit back and look in the window. We hungry, but we just sitting looking in the window, right? Because we think the door is locked. No, if you just go up there into it and twist the door, you can go right in. It's there. It's there for you. And so that's the part about educating. You don't know it's there until you know it's there, right?
Right. Hey, man.
Right.
Hey.
Right.
They
Yes, sir.
they messed up and let me out them gates.
Now,
And
they
I
didn't
say
mess
it in
up.
a way-
They didn't mess up.
Yeah.
It's all
But-
good,
but
man.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm saying it in another way.
I know what you're
That's
saying,
why-
Right,
man.
yeah.
You feel me? I'm saying because it goes back to scripture again. When
Right.
see, sometimes people intend harm for you. You know, and I deserve some type of punishment, but they messed up because once they send me in there, see, they thinking that, hey, more than likely you're going to come out a more hardened criminal. And they thinking this. But see,
Right.
we escaped those cracks. We
Right.
escaped those cracks, and they messed up and let us, we got a hold of some books, and we started reading and educating ourselves. So now we come out as a benefit, and we're
Right.
challenging the system. That's the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh is not so much as a person, but the Pharaoh is the system. And we're challenging it. Not that we're trying to overthrow the government and all that. That's madness. But we're challenging ourselves to think about it. To think about it. That's why I named that song I just wrote it as well, because it's kind of piggybacking off what we're saying. Think about these things, you know what I mean? You know,
Really?
we say we kings, but we don't own nothing, right?
Can't be a
And
king
that's not to
without a
take away
kingdom.
from- right, but that's not to take away from the kingdom inside of us. But
True.
what I'm doing is an oxymoron. I'm posing a question because it's like the motivation. That's what I'm saying. Like you talk about ownership. And first ownership, we need to take ownership of our own life and inventory of our own life. Man, don't be knocking sisters when you see I'm wearing natural. I seen this young sister, she say, why everybody knocking me for wearing my natural hair? I say, man, sister, keep wearing your hair like that. Because Dick Gregory, he was talking about this one time. I don't know how it's true. You need to do some more research. But he's saying perms and all that stuff wasn't even meant for us. That's why these sisters catching cancer and thyroid, having thyroid problems, you know what I mean? Because some of them don't know. Because really and originally in Africa, we wasn't using that stuff in our hair. We used to get Jerry curls when we were young, bro, and all this stuff right here. Man, it wasn't meant for us to have these chemicals in our head. And I got a lot of love and I respect Madam C.J. Walker. She celebrated being the first millionaire. But really, even when you go to that history, bro, what was the reason why she made this? It was a time straightening our hair because we had a complex for who we was as Africans.
With the
and then
hair.
we were trying to straighten our hair to look like white people.
Simulate.
That's just
Let's
right.
bro.
I ain't saying we're trying to do that today, but this is the reason and the root of it.
But you see more people going back to their naturals now, right?
Yeah.
More naturals now.
You know what I mean? Look at these young, and it's the young people who are doing this the most. And this sister told me, bro, one of my other Facebook friends, she had her hair natural. I said, man, that's beautiful. I always compliment like that. And she said, really, I've been learning mine. I said, how long you been wearing your hair like that? She said, since she was 16. She said, actually, my whole family wears it like this, Brandon. Man, I was like, yeah, that's what's up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we need to embrace that. When we seen them sisters, the Black Panther movement, all that, to see these young people, they're doing that, bro. But don't knock these sisters. You know what I'm saying? Sisters knocking them for why you wearing your hair like that? That's nappy. You know what I mean? All this stuff. Who taught you that?
That's who taught you to hate? That's the thing about it.
Yeah.
We got to do a show. We're going to do a show on that one, man. Who taught you to hate? Who taught you to hate?
Right. That's a good one.
Someone that's still taking that